Okay, testing 1 2 3. Yep, sorry for the delay, guys. I had some technical difficulties just now. Alright, so yep, without further delay, let's begin the webinar. Alright, so welcome back again to another pre-market live analysis with IC markets. Alright, so today we'll be going through the pre-market live analysis. Alright, so before I begin the webinar, right, remember this is the disclaimer. So everything in this webinar is educational in nature and nothing should be disclosed as financial advice. Alright, so please remember to do your own due diligence before you guys trade. Alright, so the agenda for today will be two very simple things. Firstly will be high impact news events for the week ahead and also key technical setups to watch out for. Alright, so I'm your host for today. My name is Woon and I'll be going through with you guys the key technical setups to watch out for the week ahead. Alright, so firstly, let's just go through very quickly what are the key news events for the week, for the coming week ahead. Alright, so on Monday we have NZD news, which is the red folded CPI news. Alright, then afterwards we have on Tuesday we have CAD news, we have CPI for the CAD currency pair. Alright, and then for Wednesday we have GBP news and also the CPI news for GBP. Alright, Thursday we don't have any news at all, so we are good for Thursday. Alright, then Friday we have Euro, GBP and USD flash manufacturing PMI news. Alright, so we don't really have to worry about this news because this flash manufacturing PMI news doesn't really move the markets that much. Alright, so you don't really have to worry too much about the markets having too much volatility. Alright, you only need to worry on this timing, which is 8:30 p.m. GMT, as we have the USD CPI news. Alright, yes, and looking at the messages, right, good morning everybody. Yeah, of course we will do DXY first as usual, then after that we will go through the other currency pairs, and also we will of course go through gold and AUD USD. Alright, okay, so without further ado, let's go through let's look at the charts. Okay, let's look at the XY. Okay, so we are on the daily time frame. Alright, right now price is actually retracing up here, right? Previously price has already dropped down, right, at least to almost to this support level over here, but I was expecting it to actually react to this level over here, right? But price didn't actually reach this support level. Instead it stopped right here. I believe it is at the H4. Let me see. Yeah, it is at the H4 level instead. Let me just clear this thing. Yeah, if you look at H4 has this level where it is a very nice, overlap support level. Yep, you can see this level right here. Yep, that's why price reacted to this overlap support area over here. Okay, but no worries, let's take a look at the daily chart again. okay, to see if there is any opportunities that we can look for in the markets. Oh yes, of course. Yeah, sure, no worries. I shall do DXY, then after that I'll do Go. Okay. Because I think it is 25 minutes more before the market opens. Yeah, no worries. Okay, so for DXY, as usual, let's mark out our pivot point. So our pivot point would most likely be this level right here, which is a swing high resistance level. Okay, so this is our pivot point, and our resistance level, our first resistance level will be right about here. Okay, and as for our first support, it will definitely be this level right here. Yeah. So if you are wondering why the first support is quite far, it's because if you look at these different levels, I was thinking of this level right here, right? But price is still trying to close above here. So right now I wouldn't put my first support at that level right now. Yeah. Okay. So let's see. My first support will be at this level right here. Okay, so let's take a look at let me see. Okay, I think this is fine. Then let me see. Okay, so for our first resistance level, right, not only it is a swing high resistance level over here, but it also aligns with the negative 27.2% Fibo expansion level. Okay, yep. And as for our pivot point, we shall just leave it as it is, since it is a swing high resistance level, right? So we are expecting for price to actually react at this level and show some form of resistance before dropping. If not, the next level that you will have to look at is actually for price to react to this resistance level over here. Okay, so I think it's pretty simple for DXY. Alright, so let me see. Yeah. Then we shall indicate it with a bearish arrow. Yep, so I think this is our analysis for DXY. I think it's pretty simple. Okay, now let's go through Go. Okay, so if you look at Go right now, right, is of course previously at a all-time high at 4380. All right, which is if you ask me, right, it is a rather crazy level right there, right? And right now the only levels that we can look at is on the H4 chart, which is this level over here, right? Which is only this level over here that I'm looking at. Okay, because if you look on the daily time frame, you can't really find any levels to buy from, right? What you want to do is to take advantage of the buys, right? But if you look at the bigger picture, you can't even see any buy levels, right? The only levels that you can look at is maybe on the H4 or H1 chart. Okay, so for H1, right, if you can see right here, this level, okay, I'll just do an analysis on the H1 chart since H4 and daily doesn't really seem actionable, right? But if you look at this price right now is actually retracing up to this level, which is a pullback. Oh, sorry, this is not a pullback level, this is a overlap resistance level, right? Because it was once at a support, but it broke the support level and is now reacting to a resistance level right here. Okay, so what we are looking at is for short-term sells towards the downside. Okay, so basically, if you are looking for why you are looking at short-term, short-term sells, is because DXY will most probably take some time to go up. So if DXY goes up, most of the time gold will go down, right? Because they have a inverse relationship with one another. Okay, so this is let me just put this as my pivot point. Okay, then of course my resistance will be right about here. This is just for reference, right? But you can definitely place your resistance right about this level above here, slightly above this pivot point. Right now we can't really find setups for gold that has a small stop loss, right? Because once you have a small stop loss, most of the time price will get taken out. All right, okay, so as for our support, right, our support will definitely be this level over here, okay, which is a overlap support level. All right, let me see if you are able to find any fib levels. Yep, we can find a 61.8% Fibo retracement level. Okay, then let me see if you are able to find nope, there's no projection. Okay, so I think this is our H1 goal setup. Okay, so I am not able to find the setup on the daily time frame, so I can use this H1 setup and show it to you guys instead, right? So that if you guys are daily traders of gold, you can use this setup on the H1 time frame. Okay, remember that this is on the H1 time frame. Okay, all right, so another request is AUD USD. All right, so let's go through AUD USD. Okay, so from what I see, right, on the daily time frame, AUD USD is kind of messy, right? Previously it reached quite a high over here at 0.670 in mid-September, which is about 1 month ago, right? But now it has dropped all the way down to by about 300 pips. Is it 300 pips? Yeah, 200, about 215 pips, right? Okay, so now let's take a look at which is an area whereby I will actually take sales here. Yeah, you know why? Because from what I see, right, price is now consolidating at this area. Okay, so price is consolidating in this area right here, right? So if you go to the lower time frame, you can see the consolidation, right? So you are waiting for price. Once you have like a strong breakout over here, and then we have consolidation, right? Most likely price will continue to break out towards the downside. Okay, so this is what we are looking for. So we want to catch the peak at which it will reject off this resistance and fall towards the this support level over here, right? Then it will be a good opportunity to enter off this high. Okay, so let's go to the daily time frame. Okay, let's place this as our pivot point. Alright, then for our resistance, we will place this as our resistance, as it is a swing high resistance level. Alright, then for the support level, we will place it right over here. Okay, so let me see if there is projection. Okay, so we have the 78.6% Fibo projection, and we also have, I believe we have 50%, yep, about the 50% Fibo retracement level over here. Alright, so once we have so once we have these two confluences together, this makes it a stronger trade, right? Because we have Fibo confluence right about here, okay, at 0.6529. Okay, so for my friends that trade AUD USD, this is I would recommend to take this trade because this is a high probability trade in my opinion. Alright, so let's observe this together and see how it reacts to this pivot point. Alright, okay, so this is, yep, so this is my AUD USD analysis. Okay, so far so good. Any questions for this trade? If no questions, I will move on to the rest of the major pairs. Okay, let's move on to euro dollar. Alright, so for euro dollar, okay, I believe it is the, oh, it's a little bit different. Let me see. H4, let me see. Okay, that's interesting. Let me see. Okay, we are still on the bullish Ichimoku cloud, so our bias is buys. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so I think this would be my pivot point for euro dollar, and my support will be right about this swing low support level. Okay, as for my resistance, I will pick this overlap resistance level as my resistance. Okay, so why I chose this level is a safer level, since if I go to H4, what I actually would expect price to react to is this area. Okay, so price would most probably react to this fair value gap over here. Alright, so I place my pivot point slightly below, right, just in case price decides to come out of this fair value gap, right, because we have seen a lot of times whereby price would do something like this, right, fluctuate in the fair value gap, right, and then tap out of it. So I will expect for price to react to these two support levels, right, and make a bounce off this support area. Okay, so this is my pivot point. Yeah, so let me see. Yeah, so it is about at the 78.6% Fibo projection level. Okay, so I think it's still pretty decent for price to react to this support area over here. Okay, any other Fibo levels? I think it should be fine. Let me see. Yeah, I think that is about it. So this is a bounce upwards, bullish arrow. Okay, so I think it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward from here. Okay, so moving on to GBP USD. Alright, so for GBP USD, I believe we have the same trade as well. Let's take a look. Yeah, this shall be our pivot point. Yeah, this is our pivot point. This is our first support, and this is our first resistance. Okay, so if I were to mark out, let me see if I'm able to find. Should be at the 61.8%. Yep. Alright, so we have the 61.8% Fibo projection over here. So let's see how price reacts at this pivot point, right? Same thing, I'm also looking at this level for price to react to this fair value gap right here. Just to take note, for GBP USD, the pivot point lies within the fair value gap, so this gives us even more confluence right about here. Alright, and if you draw your fib level, right, it aligns with the 78.6% Fibo retracement over here. You can see 61.8% Fibo projection together with the 78.6% Fibo retracement level, right? So this gives us extra confluence that price will be able to bounce off from this pivot point. Okay, so let's indicate a buy. Yeah. Okay, so any questions for these two majors trade? Yeah. Okay, Give me a moment, let me just take some water. Okay, now let's move on to USD CHF. Okay, so for USD CHF, right? What I would expect is let me see. Oh, I think we have a rather decent trade over here. Let's see. Yeah, I think we can use this as our pivot point. This pullback resistance level as our pivot point. Okay, then we can place this as our let me see. Yeah, I think we can place this as our resistance level over here. This first resistance level. Okay, then we will use this as our first support. This swing low support as our first support level. Okay, the reason why I chose this as our first resistance is because of this reason. I didn't want to place the first resistance to be so high, right? I would rather place it right at this level where it is at somewhat at the left shoulder, right? If you look at how price is, you can see most probably it might form something like a head and shoulders pattern. Okay, so if this pivot point doesn't work, right, the next level that I might look at is this first resistance level over here, which is our right shoulder that might form. Okay, alright, so let's draw our fit. Okay, so we have the 61.8% and 38.2. 61 and 38.2. Okay, so we have these two levels. Our first resistance lies on the 61.8% Fibo retracement level, while our pivot point lies on the 38.2% Fibo retracement level. Alright, so this is, we are trading off the pullback resistance at our pivot point. Okay, right down to our first support, bearish arrow. Okay, so market is about to open in 1 minute time. Okay, let's take a look at price. Okay, not much movement. Okay, that's great. Sometimes price will actually create like a gap, right? Let me try to find. But sometimes you can see price create a gap. It happens mostly for stocks, but sometimes it also happens in FX, right? But you can see how USD CHF is actually rising towards our pivot point right now. Alright, yeah, so let me see. Yeah, you can see this 1 minute candle This 1 minute candle is the market open candle, and it already increased by almost 10 pips, right? Pretty quick, within a minute. Yep, see, this is the gap that I'm talking about. You can see how the gap is being formed, right? Immediately from 10 pips rose all the way up to 20 pips. Yep, you can see that's why we have such a strong green candle right now. Okay, let's see. Yeah, gold is also rising towards our pivot point. Yep. Wow, gold created such a strong candle, almost 50 pips in 1 minute. Okay, let's not get distracted. Alright, so this is our USD CHF trade. Okay, so now let's take a look at USD CAD. Okay, so for USD CAD, what I'm looking at is, let me see. Okay, actually for USD CAD, I'm looking for buys. Let me see. It seems like a very good opportunity for buys over here, which is at our overlap support level. So this is our pivot point, right? Our pivot point lies with at the overlap support level. Alright, then our support shall be at this area over here, which is also a overlap support level. Alright, then this is our first resistance area. Right, which is a overlap resistance area as well. Alright, so what we are looking for is hopefully price will come down and react to our pivot point. Right now, price is trying to squeeze its way up. Yeah, but yeah, let's see whether price will actually come back down to our pivot point. Okay, let's see. Yep. Okay, so the 50% Fibo retracement level lies on our pivot point. So let's see whether price will actually come back down to this overlap support level. Alright. If not, it's fine, because we don't want to take sells anytime soon. Right, the only sell level that I would look at next would be probably this area. Would probably be right about this level over here. Okay, then I will look at sells. Right, so roughly about here. If not, I will continue to take buys since we are on the stronger side of the buying trend. Bullish arrow. Okay, so I think this is quite decent. Okay, now let's take a look at USD JPY. Okay, USD JPY is doing pretty well as well. Let's see. Okay. I'll take buys over here. Stop over here. Oh, let's see. Pivot point. Right here. First resistance. Let's see. Buys over here. So take buys over here. Okay. Let's see. USD JPY. Let's see what is the best outcome for USD JPY. Honestly, I really wanted to see how price reacts about here before I make a move. But I think it might be too close to the current price right now, right? If I were to put this as my pivot point. This might be quite a tough decision, isn't it? Yeah, I think we should place this as our pivot point, right? Because what I feel is that price is now retracing, right? And we might see a rejection from this pivot point here, right? Because this is a level where it is like a psychological level where price will always have a reaction, since there are so many times where price reacted to this level. Okay, so imagine right now price already took out this resistance level, right? Broke through. So right now it is gonna test this pivot point. Okay, so you can see how, let's say, current price, it was acting as a support, right? It broke through. Okay, so once you break through, it will now act as a resistance. Okay, so let's see how price will actually react to this pivot point over here. Alright, so if that is my pivot point, then this shall be my first resistance right at this swing high level over here. Okay, then the next area is, this shall be my first support. Alright, so let's see, if I were to draw a fib, yep, is about the at the 50% Fibo retracement level over here. Okay, right about here. Okay, so we are expecting for price to test this pivot point, and if it closes below our pivot point on the H4 time frame, right, then we will enter sales of USD JPY towards this first support level. right about here. Okay, so that is our USD JPY trade. Okay, so for now let's take a look at NZD USD. Okay, so NZD USD has been pretty good recently. Good in a way that it has been following a certain pattern, right? Making lower lows and lower highs, right? You can see lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, etc., etc., right? So what you can expect next is lower high and lower low, right? Just follow the pattern if you are unsure of what to do. All right, so basically what we will look at is this level over here, which is a pullback resistance level. So we will place this as our pivot point, right? And then we will place this as our first resistance level, which is a overlap resistance area. Okay, and as for our support, right, we are targeting this swing low support level over here. Okay, so this is our first support area, right? So we are targeting for price to fall towards our first support area. Okay, so I believe we have the 50% fit level, right smack at the 50% area. Okay, then I also think that there is a projection from the looks of it, 78.6%. Oh, let me see, 100. Yeah, okay, we have the 100% Fibo projection as well as the 50% Fibo retracement level. Right, so this gives us strong Fibo confluence that price will fall once you reach this pivot point over here. Okay, so that is our trade for NZD USD. Alright, so now let's take a look at AUD USD. Okay, so for AUD USD is almost about the same thing, right? What we are looking at is we are looking for a drop from this pivot point, right? Right, because price has broken past this level, right? So once it broke this support, what we are looking at is for it to test this area again, right? It has been tested before actually, right? But price is still hovering below this pivot point, so we can take a look at the sells again. Okay, so our pivot point also coincidentally aligns with the 50% Fibo retracement level as well as the 78.6% Fibo projection level. So this is what we are looking at for AUD USD for us to sell at this pivot point. Okay, so far so good. Any questions? As we have already covered all of the major pairs. Don't be shy, alright? Feel free to type in any other pairs that you guys want me to go through review before I move on to the last part, which is oil and also indices. Alright? Oh, okay. So if I were to take a look at gold right now, okay. Yes. Hi, friend. So if I I went through gold just now already, right? But whether it can pull back. Let me see. No, most likely no. Most likely price will continue to go towards this level over here, right? Price, if you look at price right now, price is at 4257, right? I believe your question is whether it can come back down to 4200, right? Which is about here, which is about this level over here, right? The answer, in my opinion, I believe that price wouldn't go back down as of right now, right? It is heading towards this area instead, right? Because if you look at how price is right now, right, price will be drawn towards this level, either at least this level or this area over here. A lot of sellers will come in and sell off from these positions. Why? It's because we have a bearish engulfing candle over here, right? And this is our, technically this is our order block. Yeah, so if you guys know what are these terms, right? Engulfing candles and also order block, right? If not, we'll put it simply, this is a pullback area for gold, right? That's why price will be drawn towards this level before it drops to 4200. If you are asking whether it will come to 4200 anytime soon, I would say no, right? It will come towards this pivot point before we can take sales towards this 4200 level. Okay, so I hope that answers your question, my friend. Okay, so yeah, I hope I answered your question. Alright, so now let's take a look at oil. Let me see. Okay, so for oil, what I am looking at is actually this level right about here. Okay, so this is our pullback resistance level for oil. Okay, oh wait, yeah, let's take a look at a bigger picture. Now, so oil has been pretty slow recently, right? The industry is not doing too well. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Yeah, so this is my pivot point for oil, which is a pullback resistance level, and for our, let me see, yeah, this shall be my first support. Alright, then for my resistance, it will be at this level over here. Okay, So these are my levels for oil. Alright, then let's see. Yeah, I think it's pretty simple and straightforward for oil. Nothing too fancy, nothing much we can add on. Alright, so this is our pivot point, right? We are targeting for it to fall towards our first support level over here. Yeah, no worries, my friend. I hope that answers your question. Okay, so I think it's pretty straightforward for oil. Okay, since we have like a few minutes left, let's quickly go through let me see. US30 not very nice to trade right now. Let's see. Okay, we had a drop 10 October. Oh, indices doesn't look too nice to trade right now. Let me see. Let's take a look. Okay, I think for indices wise, we shall leave it as it is for now because it doesn't look too good to trade at all, right? Now let's take a look at GBP JPY. It is actually one of my favorite pairs to trade for GBP JPY, right? Wow, it created a gap. Okay, let's see. GBP JPY. Okay, I think what we can do is we can look at sales for here at this swing high resistance level. That shall be our pivot point, and as for our first resistance level will be right about here, the next swing high resistance area. Okay, so let's see. Okay, let's see if it has, yep, retrace 50%, so we can use this. Negative 27, yeah. Okay, so our first resistance also lies at the negative 27.2% Fibo expansion level. Alright, so what we can look at is for potential sales. Let me see. Okay, let's mark this out. Resistance area. Okay, so technically we can also look for sales at this pivot point, but of course we will want to be a little bit more careful because the only thing that we can rely on is this swing high resistance level as well as this 61.8% Fibo projection. So apart from that, I think that's all we are looking at for GBP JPY. Then for our support level, our support level will definitely be this pullback support level. So this is what I'm looking at for GBP JPY. Not a lot of people trade GBP JPY nowadays because it doesn't really respect proper key levels, but sometimes it is still okay to trade it. Okay, so let's see how this plays out. Alright. Yeah, I think apart from that, we don't really have any other trades, right? We have covered the majors. Okay, let's see crypto. So for crypto, okay, the level that I am actually looking at is pretty simple. One level that I am looking at is this pullback level over here. This is potentially my pivot point, and this is my resistance. Okay, then of course my support would definitely be back at this first support level over here. Okay, so I think we have a potential trade since it lies with the 50% Fibo retracement level over here, right? And also we probably have a 100%, yeah, we have a 100% Fibo projection. Okay, so with this in mind, we have a quite a solid trade for this. So we want to continue the sell off for BTC USD, right? Potentially at least to 98,000. That is what I am looking at for BTC USD. Okay, so let me see. Let's put this as our, yeah. Okay. ETH, nothing much that I can look at. Nothing that really caught my eye. Only BTC USD is the one that I am currently looking at right now as well. Okay, so that is all. Yeah, so that is technically all from me to you guys. Alright. Okay, so thank you once again for joining into today's pre-markets live analysis with me and IC Markets. Alright, so we do this every week, so do tune in every week if you are able to, so that you will be able to catch trades for the upcoming week ahead. Alright, so thank you guys. Remember to stay safe and trade safe. I shall see you guys again next week. Alright, okay, take care and bye bye.